Hi Aries, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. Aries, this is a very, I don't really know where to start. I just know it's a new beginning of something really beautiful, and I'm still trying to find out or figure out what I'm going to use this platform for, like this channel and what it's starting to become and grow into and evolve to. And I'm receiving insights and answers and guidance, and it feels like I wanted to put it to good use. And probably this channel is more and more gonna steer towards the people who wants to awaken, and probably you already are those people drawn to this channel, or you would just not find me. You wouldn't resonate with me because that's the path that I'm on, and that's the path that I think is most interesting. And so what I asked for today, Aries, is to just have the answers to help you be the most awakened that you can get, meaning be as much in alignment with yourself as you can be, find that inner voice, listen to that intuition, to connect you with your inner being, with your higher guidance, whatever you want to call it. I think that's where we sort of need to be, all of us, in order to get anything that we want or to proceed in any way, shape, or form in life. And that's what seems to be most interesting and most passionate for me right now, and I know I need to follow that. So I hope you will enjoy it, and I'm going to start with these angel answers by Divine Virtue as sort of a main guidance for the upcoming period for you. And we're starting today on this very profound 17 of 7. There is something to this date. 717 or 17-7 has just kept appearing for me, and I know that there's a significant shift and significant change around this date, and I believe it to be globally, or I wouldn't talk about it if it was just personally, although personally is globally, if you know what I mean. Guidance for Aries, overall guidance for Aries. I want 2 cards for that. I'm just waiting for it to pop out. It flipped, but it didn't come out. There's something better. There's something better, Aries. Yeah, 17 is all about the immortality. Immortality number. Never-endedness. There's a big never-endedness of all of this. And combined, we have one new beginning. 7 is like a full term. We did this, it's time to enjoy it. That's okay. And romance flipped, but it didn't want to really come out. Interesting. I get yo. Maybe that's what I get. Yo. Is no and yes combined. Yo. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so follow that thread. So first we have a new beginning with number 1. We have a completion, or something come to an end, and something wants to now be enjoyed. The cake wants to be enjoyed when it's done in the oven. And combined, we have a number 8, which is the infinity sign. And what you've been sending out is coming back. What you've been sending out is coming back. And that is really a profound and powerful basis for your reading. It's so freaking interesting. And I know the camera is having a bit of trouble to pick up these very subtle images, but there's something to it that they're so subtle that you sort of don't really see it. You sort of just almost have to feel what's in them. I really like that. I really enjoy that. And the camera reverses the images, which is also a point. Yes and no. If you want to, you can read out on and say. Quite interesting. But yes and no comes out, and under the yes comes helpful people. So there's something to it right now, Aries, to sort of stop. I know this probably is a very, like, such a obvious thing to say. It's almost like saying, do you want to feel good or do you want to feel bad? And you would go, Let me think about that one. But really, it is a choice. And there's something about no and yes right now. So something around the lines of stop saying no and start saying yes. When you start saying yes is where the helpful people is going to come in, is where you're going to find your support, is where people wants to come join you, come interact with you, come start projects with you, be your friend, make beautiful creative things with you. So it's something around the lines of stepping out of no and stepping into yes. Although it's a choice, and if you're supposed to choose no, or if you feel like you want to choose no, it's not the end of the world. It's not so important that, stuff stops. It's what I'm getting. But it's going to be way more fun in the yes. Way more fun. Rainbow fun, actually. So that's your main guidance. Okay? And then I'm going back, to my Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. Love it. Overall, for the awakening, for the movement forward, for the reconnection, what can we give Aries? And wherever you find this helpful, I feel like it doesn't really matter what you're doing in your love life. It doesn't really matter what you're doing in your job, career situation, health. If you don't have that connection with the universe, understanding your place in it, it sort of has no purpose or has no meaning. Yeah, we want. There you go. Yep. Oh, wow. I love this. We have light destiny and accelerated motion, but we're starting off with a new foundation and achievements. And okay, so there's something to it that I think you're looking for, or you want a steady place for yourself. First, and this is number 4, so it's all about your heart, and it's all about laying a new foundation. And it's this foundation and achievements on the bottom, but it's still it's not but it's but. And it's a purple border, and the purple border is talking about the spiritual growth. So there is some sort of spiritual growth going on here in terms of laying new foundations, and in terms of finding home, finding your true home. And yes, that could be in a literal house. It could be in a literal, this is the city, this is the country, this is the, but it's almost like the home is where the heart is. This is the heart, and this is laying a new foundation. So I feel like it's important for you to get to the bottom of where you feel like home, and that's not necessarily even outside of you yet. That's something that's going to be sort of a consequence due to you finding that home within, if that makes sense. So whatever you can do, sort of meditate, be out in nature, be close to the water, do things that really puts you in that alignment, puts you in that balanced place where you feel blissed out, where you feel really excited about things. And if you don't have any of those things immediately, just think of it as a growth thing. Think of it as something you're doing over and over again for you to then start to feel excited about. So it starts off as a quite boring meditation, but if you just stay on it and be disciplined about it. And I don't really I don't really like the word discipline, because it sort of suggests that you should do something that you don't want to do, and I'm sort of more for inspiration than discipline. But if it's something you've agreed with yourself that this is something you want, So for instance, if we do it in reversal, like if we reverse you saying, you just feel that eating loads and loads of sugar it just doesn't cut it for your body. The body's sort of having reactions to it, and it's just saying, at least balance it out with something else, or just cut it out. So you've said sort of no to it, and then you continue to do that. You do that in reverse, like you've said yes to something, like you say yes to meditation, you say yes to taking walks in nature because you feel so good when you do that. And then comes a morning where you sort of go back to your comfort zone, you go back to your, I don't know if that's when the discipline comes in. You've said yeah, it's not like you've said no to something. Here's the suggestion, do you want to do this? No, I feel in every cell of myself, I don't want to do this. Okay, so let's start a plan and go at it tomorrow anyway. That's not inspiration. It needs to be something that you know for a fact that you feel good about. And when you've pinned that one down, like, yes, I know I'm happy when I'm at the ocean or out in nature, or when I'm like playing with my kid or animal or whatever that is, when you decided that's the thing, then get disciplined with it and lay this new foundation for yourself. I feel like it's really going to help you. When we have that foundation, when you're on solid ground, which means when you're in solid heart, because it feels like it's a bit everywhere. It's a bit, okay, I'm a bit here and I'm a bit there and I've started this project and I've started this and I don't really know what direction I'm in. It's like, nah, it's time to take it back. Like, come back, and we're laying a new foundation. We're starting over. We're getting into this rainbow magical energy, and we're going to take it from there. We're going to go from there. Then, guys, we're stepping into, I can't stress enough how important it is for you to start with that. When you've started with that, when you sort of just make it a habit, maybe use the word habit instead of discipline. And a discipline I actually have a little, just because you don't like to be told, what to do. So for instance, one of my sisters, she started this, she was actually writing on a book. She's writing on this gorgeous book. And it was her partner that had a lot of good ideas. He was really just coming to her with a great idea. And so he used the language of, then you really must do this or that. And she was like, I don't must anything. I don't have to do anything. Like, immediately just feeling like, you don't get to come here and tell me what to do. And it wasn't even like something that was bad. It was something that he really wanted to help her with, and probably a really good idea, but she had shut it off. And I'm not telling you, it's sort of kind of childish as well to shut something out just because of those words. But sometimes some things get us going like that. So maybe switch the discipline for habit. Make it a new habit, because habit is more like, I'll do it if I want to, if I don't, sort of thing. Discipline is like, no, you got to do it. And then because it's the force of it, then you sort of maybe just skip it because somebody told you to, even if it was you who told you to. So get into a habit of it. Then we have 8, 10, and 19, and I adore each and every one of these cards. They're just for your awakening, for your connection with your inner being, for you to really feel in tune with yourself and therefore with the world and the universe, for you to understand your journey on this earth, on this path that you're upon right now, and with everything that's shifting and everything that's changing. It's almost like I don't really know which card to take first because they came out at the same time, and they're sort of very much the same vibe. So we have number 8 here, the infinity sign again, which we had in the today's date 17. A shooting star, wish fulfillment, something really grand is about to come in. And whether this is something that will help you on your journey to sort of wake up even more, to sort of feel even more in alignment, or if this is a wish fulfillment where you, in terms of you sort of, you went to the ocean and you sat there and you meditated, and for a moment you just felt at peace. Everything just clicked into place and you just got it, if that makes sense. Like it just fell into place, and that's the wish fulfillment, and therefore something grand can come in. I would say that that is the grandness. I'd say that that thing that just happened there, or will happen there at the ocean, is the thing, right? Because everything else is just a consequence of that feeling. So we have accelerated motion on the bottom. So there is something that really is picking up speed now. After the fact, we're laying a new foundation first. And this doesn't have to take years and years. This is maybe a couple of days, up to a couple of weeks, up to a couple of months, depending on, I mean, when we're talking about habit, doing something 1 or 2 days is not a habit. Just this is an accident. You know, when you've done something for a week or 2 or 3, now we're starting to have a habit. To get to that point where it goes like, today's Wednesday, I don't know. Is that thing on television? When you sort of make this the priority number 1, your heart and your new foundation, and you skip any type of, sorry for saying so, superficial outside of yourself thing, which you should enjoy. Like I couldn't tell you how much I enjoy music. That's an outside influence. I couldn't tell you exactly how much I enjoy it. It takes me places. It puts me into, it's just my way of existing sometimes, it feels like. And so I do understand the outside influence. That's gorgeous. But this is the inside influence, and that's what we're after now. And that's what you're being guided towards. So we're having the shooting star infinity sign. It's the infinity sign. It's endless of possibilities right now. It's strength, it's power, it's something coming together. It's so above, so below, so in heaven, so on earth. Understanding even how it's like interconnected. We have so above, and right at the middle of that, so below, so in heaven, so on earth. It's like at one stage, it's all interconnected, right? The heaven and the earth is interconnected. There's nothing up there and down here. It's interconnected. It is all at the same time, right? And that's what you're going to start to feel. You're going to start to feel like it's not something, I'm not here and it's there. I'm not lacking this and what I want is out there. Everything is here, and when you're connecting in with it, like I said, if you're having that moment where everything just clicks, it just falls into place, you sort of get it that, okay, there's nothing that is out there for me to have. It's actually right here. And it's not even a thing, it's a feeling. Then we have the Destiny card, the Wheel of Fortune, we have the wheel that just, something has come full circle, and it's sort of the never-endingness of things as well. Just a never-endingness of things, like how the universe just never ends. It's quite large to fathom, it just never ends. And with the 10 there, it's a completion. So you're completing something, you're wrapping something up, and I feel like you're wrapping something up as we speak. I get leaving the demons behind. Leaving the demons behind. That's interesting. And stepping into the light. I'm in the 19th minute when I'm talking about this 19 card. You're leaving the demons behind, but in order for you to know that you left them behind, you sort of have to stumble upon something. And maybe it's not a stumble, since nothing is a stumble, but it might feel like it was really so maybe it feels like you were just really being happy, or you're really doing your thing, and it was like you're in this situation where you feel quite content or quite good about yourself, and it's sort of out of the blue, something happens that sort of shakes you a bit, and that's the stumble thing. It feels like, okay, in order to, I keep referring to these, which seems on the surface to be very like these child movies, Jim Carrey and Steve Carell. Jeez. Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty. I think it's in Evan Almighty with Steve Carell. I just love it. I mean, it's just a child's movie if you want to, but there's so many profound things that are being said in there. So many profound things. Like, watch it again from a higher perspective. You'll find things in there, I promise you. Morgan Freeman playing God, which is brilliant, is sort of, I think it's like an incident. I probably messed this up now, but it's like something around, it's Evan's character's wife. She's having trouble. She's being frustrated. She's being very impatient. And then God comes up to her and asks her what the trouble is, and she's saying all of these things, and he comes back with, do you think that God, if you need patience, for instance, I think that's something like around those lines that he's saying, if you need patience, do you think that God would just give you patience, or do you think that God would give you a situation for you to practice your patience? That is brilliant. So that's what it feels like for you to step into your light, for you to now let go of your demons, whatever that means for you. That's the phrase I'm being given. It's like something is being put in front of you, however small or however large. It's sort of it's gonna stand out a bit, and it's gonna make you feel something, and that something is for you to let go of. I feel like that is the representation of it all. It's like the face of, we hear that he's the face of this foundation, or she's the face of this brand, or and it feels like there's something about you've been living something that has been the face of. This is the face of whatever you've been doing with your life, some repetitive habit, maybe a habit that you didn't like, that you kept repeating, and that you want to step away from now, that you are stepping away from now. We've come full circle. There's a completion. In the completion, we have a number one and a full circle again. So it's like something comes up, not because you did such a crappy job and you're still attracting crappy things, and not because you're what is that word? Indulgent. What? Sorry, I need to. It's just, I just get this feeling of you feel guilty. Okay, so the indulgent. It's a tiny bit like we need to switch to. It's almost like you. Okay, so stick with me now. Don't shut me out because I'm saying this. If it triggers you a tiny bit, you know it's true. There's something about reveling, like enjoying a tiny bit the drama. It's a tiny bit of reveling, indulging yourself in the drama, get a kick out of the drama, and maybe you would immediately argue with me. The mental body would argue with me and say, no, I'm not. I hate it. Yeah, but you get a rush of it. You start something within yourself. It doesn't happen. You're just completely cool and calm. You're triggered by it. It's like you're feeling something around it, and it's like we need to make that switch from the drama to the paradise, if you know what I mean. It's like we go from the bad habits to laying a new foundation for the good habits. Okay, so there's something around that there's something coming up that will help you let go of your demons, and it's the face of. It's not even just that thing, Because for some of you, I feel like it's going to be so tiny. To another person, it might feel like, hey, it's not the end of the world, you know? For some, it's going to be a bit bigger because it needs to shake you up a bit. For somebody, it's going to be a bit tinier, but you're still going to have this exact same reaction as if it's something bigger, because it's the face of what you're now, of the brand, of the company, of the era, of the paradigm. It's the face of, and it's sort of giving you a pass to let go of the judgment, to let go of guilt, to let go of the shame. That's the vibration around it, behind it. And then, so that's the wheel of fortune. It's destiny. It's the wheel of destiny. You're doing whatever you can, even though you don't think of it that way, even though you didn't sat down this morning and said, I want this sort of crappy thing to happen today, somewhat crappy thing, so that I can be shaken out of my guilt. You didn't ask for that. But you're attracting things right now to help you have a final full circle. Interesting, because I said that to somebody else, that there's a final full circle. There's something that it's like a final full circle, and now we're moving on. There's not going to be a full circle like this ever again, because we're going to step into something completely new, which is the light. And the light with the number 19, we can't have this card without saying that this is also a person coming in that is probably your romantic counterpart, probably a person that you would consider, this is not just sort of a soul tribe, dear friend that you feel such kinship with. This is your romantic counterpart. You will catch up with this person, and the reason I use the word catch up is because you need to raise the vibration a bit to be in the same vicinity as where they are. You'll do that here. Okay, guys, that's what I have for you for today. I'm going to continue in the extended, and I'm going to just use 3 cards to move us over there to the next, to the extended, if you want to come there, if that resonates with you. And so I'm just going to draw, even though you don't, which is the point, you don't see them at the very end here. So if you don't want the silent part, because I'm not going to say anything around these cards, it's just for you to feel for a moment. Just be still and listen to what's to come up from the inside, and let go whatever wants to be let gone, and then receive whatever wants to be received. If nothing happens during this time, I promise you will happen later. So I want 3 cards for Aries for the silence, and then I'm going to move into the extended and see what I can find there. If you resonate with that, the link is in the description box down below. 3 cards for silent, please. And 1 more. Apparently you get 2 more. I'm going to try so that you don't see the words, because I think that the words are messing up your messages because you're hung up on what somebody else has already told you to do. That makes sense? So they came out like that. Like that. Which one do we want first? This one. Okay. I'm going to be quiet, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon again.